You know, it's funny. How is it that after all of this time, I still haven't covered any of the classic Fantasyland dark rides? Seriously. But which one should I do first? Which one? Well, this is my fave of them, so it really should be my first crack at this.
Are you really going to review another of my hyperfixations without me, Seal?
Who's there? Show yourself!
Really, Seal? As if it wasn't obvious.
Tox? Well, I guess you could join if you wanted, I guess.
I mean, you already did Haunted Mansion without me. I'm not missing out on this, too.
Those were extenuating circumstances!
Those were extenuating circumstances. No, it doesn't matter. You're not getting out of this one, Tendo.
Okay, fine. So, looks like it's time to review Alice in Wonderland, everyone. But first, roll the intro!
Alice in Wonderland, the unique black sheep of the Fantasyland Dark Ride pentology, a ride that wondrously recreates one of my hyperfixations in physical form, and it's quite amazing to see.
While the other Fantasyland dark rides all have this nice little cul-de-sac to call home between the four of them, this unique darling of an attraction stands alone around the corner. And it truly deserves it, standing out on its own as a unique beast that doesn't need the others to cement its place in the park.
And let me guess, we're going to go into the history of it now, aren't we?
How'd you guess?
Because I know you.
Fair point. This is another entry in a long list of rides in the club of rides mistaken for opening day attractions when they actually are not! As the ride missed the park's opening date by 3 whole years due to, well, finances, other project Walt was focusing on the park, the studio's movies, fixing opening day issues. There's just a lot in the way.
It's almost as if these are complex projects that take time, effort, and artistic ambition to put together that should be treated with respect as the works of art they are.
Exactly.
Originally, the ride was being designed as a walk-through attraction exploring Wonderland, an idea mostly brought to life decades later when they built the parks in Paris and Shanghai.
And this might be one of the few areas where we lucked out over the French, as where we got an extravagant, amazing dark ride, they got...
Look, Paris, we can trade. Just give us Phantom Manor and we can call it even.
But we already have Haunted Mansion.
Does that have Vincent Price as the ghost host? No. Your argument is invalid.
However, the idea for the walkthrough was eventually scrapped for the same reason most walkthrough attractions in the United States were scrapped.
Crowd flow?
Yep, crowd flow. Walt and the Imagineers quickly realized that with the tight corridors and designs an Alice in Wonderland attraction would require to truly be authentic, it would be near impossible to keep a walking crowd moving through properly, and it would cause all sorts of problems. As such, the concept was pivoted over instead into a dark ride.
Just like another hyperfixation of mine? Why does this keep happening?
What makes you think I know? The attraction was mostly designed by an Imagineer who already had a role in the original 1951 film, Claude Coates, who worked as one of the movie's chief art directors. This enabled the ride to be surprisingly authentic to the original vision of the film, fitting with its more Madhouse style compared to the more narrative-focused dark ride contemporaries.
A style they held to, allowing for the ride's opening on June 14th, 1958. That is, of course, until the refurbishments attacked.
Hey, I thought they did a good job updating it.
So do I. But damn, way to ruin the tension, Seal.
Sorry.
The first of them occurred in 1984, as most of the ride's original dark ride cardboard stylings were removed and replaced with fully three-dimensional figures.
Damn, that's downright Orwellian. Sadly, the original ride was lost to history due to the refurbishments happening before handheld cameras were more common. but the 1984 update was mostly preserved in some fashion, as it didn't get a refurbishment until 2014. But we can get into differences there as we get into the review proper. So, Tox, ready to go down the rabbit hole with me?
You have no idea. Let's do this.
The queue is just now to a wind-up without really anything much to say for itself, so let's just get into the ride system.
This is more of a simple boxcar dark ride, originally designed by Air Developments. It is pretty standard, but works well for a slow-moving, atmospheric dark ride like this one.
Also, interesting to think about how this is Disney's only ride with outdoor segments like this, especially with this entrance area.
Okay, Seal. We've gone over the history, the ride system, and all this other stuff. Can we finally review the freaking ride? Or are you gonna keep stalling? Tendo!
Fine, sorry. The attraction begins as we enter into the show building, as Alice's narration leads us in, us falling down the mysterious wonder of the rabbit hole.
Funny enough, Alice's narration here is one of the few elements that still remain in the ride from the original 1954 version.
But the spiraling visuals here are a new addition from the 2014 refurb, as the ride was almost 100% practical until that refurbishment. And thus the madness begins.
And it all starts the downward spiral.
Downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral. Ugh. Thank you, Tox.
You're welcome. So we encounter the doorknob who opens up to allow us into Wonderland. Hold up!
What? What's wrong?
Why did the door let us through?
Isn't it supposed to?
Absolutely not. The doorknob isn't supposed to open. It's locked. No one goes through. Not Alice, not Sora, not the characters from Disneyland Adventures. Nobody opens the door. So why is it opening for everyone in here? The doorknob is supposed to be a tired dick who does not open for anyone. So why is he opening for us?
Look, maybe he's just having an uncharacteristically good day, okay?
Tendo.
Yes?
Who's got the hyperfixation here?
Why do I think this is a good idea? So next we see Alice chasing after the White Rabbit, which is a complete change from the original version of this ride.
Yeah, in the original, there not only was no screen to display this, but Alice was a non-factor in the ride, as the idea of the ride was that you, as the rider, were Alice. All of her appearances down the line were naturally late-term additions in this vein as well.
Looks like this ride needed Alice.
I don't need these puns today, Tendo. Don't start with me.
Sorry!
And after a superficial appearance of Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and the White Rabbit, we head off into the singing forest.
And this scene is fricking breathtaking. I love how well integrated the animation is with the physical, so that they blend to make the perfect tapestry of animation and physicality. This scene is a freaking work of art. It's almost as if theme park rides are an art form in their own right that takes a lot of thought, work, and talent by multiple skilled artists to put together and should be treated as artistic works in their own right, even when it's adaptive work such as this.
Yeah, maybe, Tendo, maybe. It's almost as if people who do this for a living deserve more respect and pay for their hard work.
Exactly! So, after we move through the forests, encountering the caterpillar and a group of lion flowers, we'll enter into the tawdry wood and encounter the Cheshire Cat.
Yes?
You know, the Cheshire Cat.
I'm standing right here.
Okay, but I don't see what that's to do with a Cheshire Cat.
Me.
No, I'm talking about the Cheshire Cat.
Why are you talking about me as if I'm not standing here?
I'm not! I'm talking about the Cheshire Cat!
Exactly.
I don't get this. Not at all.
Am I a joke to you? Sad to say, despite how wonderful and popular this character is, in the new version, this scene is their only appearance. They were more prominent before the 2014 refurbishment, but they've sadly been relegated to only appearances in this scene. This is such bullshit!
I know. Cats like me deserve a lot more representation than that.
Hey! This is my show! Let me out of here!
What was that?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
And we move on into the Queen's Court, seeing the cards painting the roses red as the others patrol the grounds.
And damn, with the mirrors and animatronics, the marching card soldiers is such an impressive effect. Just mad frickin' props.
Which naturally leads us into the croquet game, seeing the Queen play via wonderful projections.
Rule 42, the Queen always wins.
I can't believe this.
What?
They got the rule wrong.
Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court immediately.
Yeah, you'd think that Disney would at least get their own references right.
I know!
And out of nowhere, suddenly the queen is demanding our heads. One of her guardsmen holding a large axe. Damn, that thing's big enough to make Constance blush.
Oh, don't worry. Mine's bigger. Miss my wife, Tendo.
And as we run away from the queen, we head outside and... What was that?
Oh, that's the sound that plays at this part.
Why does Goofy sound out when this ride exits?
I don't know.
I will say, it is weird that this outdoor portion is here, kind of just rolling around killing time.
Well, you gotta remember that it originally trailed down to the load area from above before the 1984 refurbishment. This whole bit was just the relaxing ride down to end things out after your chaotic time in Wonderland.
Either way, I would highly recommend going on this while the parade is running, because you can get a nice parade viewing area while on top. It's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, totally.
Anyway, we eventually enter back into the ride, seeing as the tea kettles dance the day away at the Mad Tea Party.
Only at the cost of yet another appearance by the cat.
Let it go, Tox. Just let it go.
I know, yes. It's a better scene that works better with what's surrounding it, but frick, I miss the cat.
So do we all, Tox. So do we all.
But with that, we see the Mad Tea Party and a random encounter with an exploding cake before we return to the load station to end our trip through Wonderland.
This ride is freaking great.
No shit! I very much like this ride. It's a very whimsical telling of the original animated Disney film. At times, it can be disjointed, but so is the original source material, so despite that, it really does fit the vibes and works well for the attraction overall.
Agreed. As someone who doesn't have as much of a connection to the source material as you do, the zany wonder and beauty of Wonderland does still shine through to me, and I really can find joy in this attraction. There's a reason it's hands down my favorite of the Fantasyland dark rides, so come on in and embrace the wonder for yourself! Well, that was fun. Thanks for coming on this review, Tox.
You're welcome. And now I can say you're forgiven for the temple incident.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm off to go bully the green guy. See you later.
Which one?
Yes.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for more mockery and tomfoolery. You sure you don't want to join us in the Astrolus just yet?
I really wish I could, but I have quite a bit more packing to finish down here first. I will join you all once I'm fully prepared, don't worry.
No problem. Totally get it. See you soon, Puppeteer.
You as well, Tendo.
Computer, beam me up. Hey, girls. Hitting it off, I see.
Oh yeah, Oceanart is talking.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear from a fellow traveler.
Well, I used to be before I was chosen as Guardian of Courage, but hey, I have friends now, and I don't leave behind, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Still always on the road, getting to meet and play with new people. Always a fun time.
Boy, do I hear that.
Anyway, just doing a sweep. Seeing how everyone's getting along. How's the AI update for the holodeck going?
Oh, already done.
Seriously?
Yeah, let's just say I'm very scared with my fingers. In more ways than one.
So, you think you can work with this?
This should be simple enough. I'll treat these tools with care, Master.
Tendo, please. I am not comfortable being called or even referred to as Master.
Understood. Forgive my presumptions. My handlers have always forced me to refer to them with such terminology in the past.
Vale, just because I'm your boss doesn't mean I'm your handler. I'm not your superior, nor your master. Just call me Tendo, okay?
On power level, we are far from equals. I am far stronger than the likes of anyone on the ship. But given our status, I will acquiesce to your request.
Hey, Julie. What are you doing in Kat's room?
Oh, just dusting. Gotta do my job after all.
You asked Kat if you could do this first, right?
No. Why?
Julie, I know cleanup and maintenance is your job, but even if it is to clean them, you really shouldn't be entering people's rooms without permission. It's a violation of privacy.
Oh, I didn't realize. Forgive me, Seal.
It's okay. It's clear it was not his mistake. Just make sure to head out and talk to Kat before you continue, okay?
You got it, Seal.
So, you all set, Velvet?
Yeah, I should be able to make this work. With all the advanced tech stuff, this should be my easiest job yet.
Glad to hear. You know, I thought it would be difficult finding a medic willing to work for what we're offering, but I'm so happy to see you're willing to work with us.
Yeah, well, this is as good a way as any to get away from my debts.
What? Hey, you two. How's it going?
Terribly! This bimbo know a socket wrench from a Pop-Tart! I can't work with this!
Hey, all I asked was some basic ideas of how you want to handle things since you were so insistent on taking point. You're the one just assuming I should know your way of handling things.
It's industry standard! If you don't know this stuff, then this ain't your field, girlie.
Look, Seagull.
Show milk!
Whatever, I know my shit. You're talking to the ex-head mechanic of the Flynn Mechanic Company, the daughter of Carolyn Flynn. Don't you dare be knocking my credentials.
Alright then, how do you fix a sparking Nova channeler?
Well, there are multiple ways to fix it. Most simple would be to polarize the gravity well and...
Already wrong! You gotta shut the thing down and weld in rubber stripping and a grating line.
Well, yeah, that is an option, but I said there were multiple. But my option takes less time, allows the ship to get moving, is less work, and takes less resources.
These things are standard operating procedure! You can't just work willy-nilly in your own way!
I can when it works, and is more efficient than the standard way.
Listen to you, damn kid! You can't just keep changing everything because you think you know better than the experts!
Doobity-doo, 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 doobity-doo. Who was that? Oh, Doobity-doo, doobity-doo.